welcome back to the channel. We're here at Up Next Fighting 6, and standing with me right now is the legendary Josh Barnett. Josh, you know, I've been seeing you out here at all of these events here at Up Next Fighting, out here supporting your guys. Tell us a little bit about who you have here on the card, and just walk us through today and what's going on.
Well, I got AJ Bryant, who's the former CXF champion, former LXF, God, what is that weight class? 145 champion. I don't know. That's not bantamweight, featherweight. And then Diego Perez coming back to the ring off of a first-round finish in the last UNF card that he was in 2 shows ago, and just keeping things going.
Keeping things going is exactly that. So here's the thing, Josh, like, you have done so much in the sport of MMA and just all of that across the board. I do want to ask you, you know, when you're out there, you know, with these guys and they look to you for a lot of advice, you know, what is a lot of the work that you do with the guys throughout the day, just for today? Like, what is the process like, both mentally and physically, to help these guys prepare to go out there for these big fights?
Well, I think that them turning to me for help was their first mistake. And so generally, I just kind of low-level torment the whole time. You know, if someone goes out, gets them some food, I make sure that when they see it, it looks like it's been messed with, or some of it's been eaten already, but they're already hungry, so there's not much they can do about it. Just kind of have to suck it up and get mad. You know, I put water in their seats in the cars, little stuff like that. Put crickets in their bedrooms.
Ruin their day, right? Ruin the meals.
Low-level terrorism 24/7. Just keep them in a constant state of agitation and let them loose in the ring.
And like, you know, obviously when you're going out there and, you know, you've done your fights and you've had your share of experiences, when it comes to the guys and you're out there, you know, what are the emotions for you as a coach, seeing your guys go out there and fight? What are you feeling?
Well, I would say that getting in the ring is far easier than being in the corner. It really is difficult to know that at that point it's out of your hands. And so for me, generally I tamp all those feelings down, I deaden them inside with a lot of booze. And so therefore it makes it a lot easier to be there. You know, generally whiskey, but I'll take anything if I'm hurting. So, you know, White Claws and I don't know, just random stuff in plastic bottles. Anything to make sure that I'm just not getting emotional in the corner.
Exactly. Oh my God. All right. So I do want to also talk to you about Up Next Fighting, because, you know, we're here for the 6th event now, and they've been doing so much. You got amateurs on the card, you got pros on this card. You kind of got a little bit of everything. So with that being said, for you as somebody who's seen, you know, promotions come and go, you've seen it all here in the business, what does having a promotion like Up Next Fighting mean for the sport of MMA? You know, obviously right now it's just local here in Los Angeles, but what does it mean to have a promotion like Up Next Fighting in the sport of MMA?
It's a necessity. You need to have local promotions. There need to be somewhere for those that are on the come up, but also a place like Up Next that can create a platform and a venue capable of hosting larger fights. And of course, as a promotion gets bigger, the bigger the matches. We went from Josh Barnett's, well, Bloodsport 1 was pretty star-studded with me versus Minoru Suzuki, and you had Karrion Kross now, but Killer Kross versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Hideki Suzuki and Tim Thatcher. We had big guys right off the bat, but coming up on March 30th, next Thursday, we got Kota Ibushi making his return to professional wrestling. He could have wrestled anywhere in the entire world, and he's at Bloodsport. So as we can grow, it allows us to do more things. Not to mention, we got Jeff Cobb, we got Tim Thatcher, we got myself, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Eric Hammer. We got guys, just some of the most star-studded people you can find in pro wrestling. As UNF grows, they're going to be able to do bigger things too. And they're already doing things like bringing in former UFC fighters, funneling them into their main events and fighting throughout the card and providing a high-level show. Not just in production, but in the action in the cage where it counts. And so as these shows can grow, I would say that UNF is becoming like a regional show, in that all over the West Coast, you're going to want to be here because this is where you're going to get the best fights, the best experience, where people are going to see you. And that's really important as well to remember that even though we are professional athletes or amateur athletes, we're entertainers. We work in the entertainment industry. If no one wants to watch you fight and pay for the ticket, then you've got nothing to do. And I think UNF is doing a great job of giving the right environment for these fighters to come out here and show their wares. And it makes it really crucial, not just to development, which is true, but it becomes cliche. Oh, if you're not the UFC, you're just development. Well, they can develop here too.
And on such a big stage, I mean, you look at it and it's literally as professional as it can possibly get. So you did mention Bloodsport. I do want to touch on that because, the event is coming up and you mentioned some of the names that are going to be there. But I do want to ask you because Kota Ibushi is somebody that, things are changing. He's no longer with New Japan Pro Wrestling and, now he's going to be booked at all of these events. And one of them being Bloodsport. I want to ask you, when you finally were able to book and grab Kota Ibushi for this show, what was that reaction where you're like, okay, here we go, we got Kota Ibushi on the show, this is serious. Tell us a little bit about what that process was like.
It's going to be real boring. I just ran into him at Ganrujima Inoki Bambaye event after my fight. I had met him before and I've called many of his matches for New Japan Pro Wrestling with JR, and I just was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you. And we chatted for a little bit. I said, well, hey, look, if you ever want to come and do anything for Bloodsport, love to have you. It's a very unique and it's special environment in pro wrestling, and I have a lot of pride in creating a ring that really feels sacred and true to the deepest spirit of what pro wrestling is, that you're not going to find anywhere else. And that was that. And then I see an interview he gave with an English-speaking outlet online. I don't remember their names, sorry. I think you're a Twitter online account. And I all of a sudden I'm getting just notices blowing up in my Twitter app, and I was just like, what the hell? And he says, I want to make my re-debut in Bloodsport. I'm like, so my first thought is, oh shit, I gotta, yo, hey, are you serious? We can make this happen. And from there on, that was it, but a lot of what you see at Bloodsport is because of my relationships with people and my reputation in the industry, my time spent with literally the gods of this sport that I have been very lucky to get to be able to say that I've had time under Carl Gotch and Billy Robinson, and Antonio Inoki has been a mentor, and never in my wildest dreams. But the most important thing is to honor that with how I approach pro wrestling, how I teach, and how I hold myself as a pro wrestler. And so that bleeds into everything I do. And when people recognize that, then they're more willing to do for me that which they wouldn't do for other people. And in return, I try to give them the purest, most open opportunity for them to show what pro wrestling is straight from their hearts.
I do want to ask you because, you're in collaboration with GCW. GCW has a collective, and, this is a partnership that you guys are doing together. But, putting the card together for you, when you do have all of these opportunities to bring in, some of the biggest names, when you're putting the card together, what is your main focus, and what would you say are some of your favorite things? And what would you say are some of the challenges as well in putting a show together like Bloodsport?
Did you say favorite things?
Yeah, favorite things and also challenges.
I would say the biggest challenge is trying to create those matchups that I really feel are going to show exactly what Bloodsport's about, and to keep up not only the aesthetic but the spirit of that show. Plus, I want to make sure that these are top quality fights that you're not going to find anywhere else, or if you've seen this happen somewhere else, you didn't see it like this. You can watch John Hennigan in a lot of places is Johnny Mundo and John Morrison and Johnny everything, right? But you don't see him in what you see with him in Bloodsport is not what you're going to see anywhere else. And people aren't going to be aware, for the most part, that, oh yeah, John's trained boxing under me for like 4 months now, 5 months. He has a boxing match coming up in April in Creator Clash. He's an ex-high school and collegiate wrestler. He's not just coming in out of here as just like a guy trying to, fake it till you make it. No, he's the real deal. And then you have a guy like his opponent, good old Royce Isaacs, ex-collegiate football player, ex-collegiate wrestler, trained catch with me, and also has gone out and competed with it. So getting these guys a look that you're not going to see anywhere, watching them take off all the other aspects that you're used to from seeing them in pro wrestling and seeing them in this pure environment. Making those kind of proper matchups sometimes means I need people to have faith in this guy or gal that they're not as familiar with, but I know they're gonna see something special. Also, to erase expectations of other particular wrestlers that might show up there. I've had quite a few high flyers in Bloodsport that are out there shooting doubles and hitting arm locks and leg locks on people that you don't see them do in other matches. And it's a challenge to find the appropriate athletes for this. This is not a show for everyone. I don't say that to be arrogant or to diminish or to talk bad about other wrestlers out there. But this show needs something that isn't found in most of people out there in the world of professional wrestling. But that's okay. That's why we exist.
That's the point of it. That's why it's a hot ticket. You want to see something different. My last question to you, and then I'll let you go because I know you got lots to do. Any other plans, any other events that you're planning on attending WrestleMania weekend, since there's so much going on? Anything else that you're looking forward to maybe checking out?
Minoru Suzuki's karaoke. And there's going to be a wild one up in Burbank. Early morning Guy Steele's early morning show. I don't know what the hell is going to happen there. And that Guy Steele, he's an enigma, wrapped in a question, covered in cow shit, unwashed overalls, and diesel. So I don't really know what to expect out of it, but it'll be noteworthy, I'm sure.
Well, Josh Barnett, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day here today to come chat both MMA and pro wrestling with us. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Josh Barnett, Denise Salcedo. We'll catch you on the next vid.